how to adopt this model? What advice would you give to somebody who's working for an unenlightened manager?
That's a common question that we get. First off is that you have the choice, the freedom to be a healthy leader in your organization. There are many people who work in unhealthy, dysfunctional companies, and you are responsible for your own little piece in that organization. And you can manage to, as best as you can, to keep out all of the dysfunction from your own life and be the best leader that you can be. Now, on the flip side of that is, how do you manage up? And our sense is that this model is lying dormant inside of people. People want to be healthy leaders. They want to be physically and emotionally and intellectually and socially and vocationally and spiritually healthy. But they're oftentimes scared. And fear is a big factor. And so sometimes you have to be a little smarter than your boss. Feed them an interesting article. Buy them a copy of our book. That would be great. Talk about these issues in a team meeting, because the research that we have found is that the very best leaders do this, and the very best companies value this. And they may not call it healthy leadership, but they value the principles and the practices that we have found consistently that show up in great companies.
Well, and Bob, you talk about mirror neurons in your book, and you just mentioned them. So if you really understand the science of that, then when Gandhi said, be the change you want to make, you literally are influencing people all around you. If you want this.
I think, Kathy, people learn in lots of different ways. There are some people who learn through their own self-development, and they become more aware and self-conscious by falling down and getting up, or meditating, or having an insight. And then there's other people who learn by observing others, and they read an article or a book about a best practice, and they go back to their own company and they experiment. There's other people who have to have the complete business logic laid out for them. They have to see the return on investment. And there's a lot of research that shows that healthy, high-performing companies perform better in the marketplace, and healthy leaders actually build those companies. So I think that we have a lot of research to support that. And then lastly, there are some people that just will come into a new paradigm kicking and screaming, and they bring their company down in the process. And what we want to do is to raise the consciousness. So, there's a chapter in the book. One of the things we've done is we tried to weave the science of what we've learned over the past 20 years from biology and positive psychology and neuroscience and physics around uncertainty into the book in a very readable way. We've tried to put questions in the book so you can ask yourself. It's a very personal book about where you are on each of these dimensions. And then the stories. Some people love reading stories. So I think that people learn in lots of different ways. And I guess the last thing I would say here is that, in our minds, we use about 5% of our brain in terms of being conscious of what's going on, and 95% of what's going on we're not aware of. And if we could increase our consciousness by 1 percentage point, just 1 percentage point, the return on investment to our own happiness and fulfillment and to the performance of companies and government would be amazing.